Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Amita Balachandra. There's a very interesting conversation coming up because the person I'm going to be talking to right now is the winner of the Global Teacher Prize 2020. On the 3rd of December, Maharashtra based teacher Ranjitsinh Disale won 1 million US dollars as part of Global Teacher Prize 2020 for his work, which involves promoting girls' education in rural India.
The winner of the Global Teacher Prize 2020 is Ranjit Disale from India. Oh, and look, there's your whole extended family now. It's wonderful. Oh, my dear fellow, I can see how moved you are.
Ranjit has been very kind enough to give us his time and speak to us not just about the prize money, but also about his work. First of all, Ranjit, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the prize. The moment this was announced, there was a video that went viral. You were extremely enthused. Your parents were sitting next to you. Were you expecting this at all?
No, no, no. That's what the biggest surprise I received in 2020. And you might have seen the reaction. It was natural. I was not expecting. And the way Stephen Fry announced my name, and I was not expecting that he's going to take me as a award winner. But definitely, it is a pride moment for all the Indian teachers. And I must thank Mr. Sanivaki, the educational evangelist, and UNESCO, who started this awards to recognize teaching profession.
And before we get into your work itself, if you can give us a bit of a background of how you got into the profession, because I believe that wasn't a natural decision initially, you sort of made it later. If you can explain to us what happened.
Yes, right. So I was not supposed to be a teacher. Even my close friends, when they realized, oh, I'm a teacher, so it was really surprise to them as well. So I first initially I wanted to be an engineer. So even I take admission in the engineering college as well, but somehow it didn't work. So I came back to home. Then my father, who was a teacher, who advised me, Ranjit, now instead of sitting at home for 6 or 7 months, why don't you join teachers training college? So if you think you're enjoying it, you liked it, then you can continue. Else, you can take another entrance exam, and then you can join the new engineering college. So this is how I joined the teachers training college. So very depressed and while joining that college, but teachers in the teachers training college actually changed me. The way I'm now talking to you, a little bit talkative, I'm very confident now. But at that time, I was very shy, very reserved type of person. Even I couldn't had any chat with any single girl till the teachers training college. So it was really shy guy I was. But the teachers really changed me a lot. And there I experienced what teachers can do. There I realized teachers are real change maker. And that's why I decided to become a change maker.
And when was that? Which year was that? And uh, what was the condition of the village and the school like at that point in time?
Yeah, so I was appointed as a teacher in 2009. Day one was 5th of January 2009. And Paritiwadi, drought-prone area, village, people's living, most of the peoples are below poverty level. Their economic status is low as compared to the other villages and cities. And day one, when I joined the school, and my headmaster took me to my classroom,
Mm.
and the classroom was used as a cattle sale. I saw the buffaloes and cows there, and I asked my headmaster, "Sir, are you sure this is my classroom?" He said, "Yes, yes, it's your classroom, and now you have to teach here." So I asked him, "No, this is not possible. It's a cow shed." He said, "No, the building and the premises belongs to government. That owner has now occupied it. Now you have to take it back to us and continue your teaching there." And there I realized the biggest challenges before me, and I had to start from the scratch. The problems before me were multiplied. I have to start from getting the classroom for myself.
Oh,
It took 6 months for me to get back that classroom. But within those 6 months, what I did, I actually surveyed that village and get that some data like educational status, economical status of villagers, their culture, their mindset, and then I analyzed the data. And based on the data, I made a plan of action of 5 years. It's like
mm,
5 years plan of action. The first thing was that to change the parents' indifference towards education. And then I decided to shift in my Paritivadi to live there. And there I started an initiative called as Community Engagement Program. So continuously having interaction with parents, community members, and villagers. I was participating in the family functions and the cultural events. So intention was to understand them. When you want to change something, if when you want to change the mindset, don't force your thoughts to them. Don't force your mindsets. Just be the way they are, and then gradually
mm,
push your thoughts, gradually pursue their mindsets. And this is what I was doing. So somehow I managed to pursue their mindsets. Then I started to work on attendance of each and every student. So every day I was visiting the villagers, I was visiting their farms wherever they are, and requesting their fathers and mothers to attend a school. So every day I was going, and the father says, "Sir, today I have some work. I will send him tomorrow." So and again tomorrow I'll be visiting his house. Now you yesterday promised me that you will be sending him to my classroom tomorrow, and today you have to send him. So this is how every day I was, having interaction with them, asking them to send their kids in the classrooms, and then gradually, those who were not attending a school, I took a help of technology. I wanted my classroom to become a place where students will enjoy, they will learn. So I took a help of technology. I asked my father to give me a laptop. So at the time, my salary was nearly around 3,000 rupees per month. So it was not possible for me to purchase a new laptop. And my father, considering my, you know, purpose, he gifted me the laptop. And what I was doing, we were watching the movies, we were singing songs and dancing in the classrooms. I'm not teaching, I was not teaching to them. And they were enjoying. Oh, instead of going in the farm and working there, it's very easy and enjoying to come back in this classrooms, just watch the movies, sing with the songs and dance, and then go back to home. And then they were
mm.
sharing whatever was happening in the classroom with their friends.
So, did you see that there was a shift in the sense that you said because of technology, there were lots of kids willing to come into school. So, did they try and convince their parents as well? Because you mentioned the indifference initially. Explain to us what that indifference really was. Were parents more likely to send their kids or get married them off than send them to school?
Look, they were very professional in that sense. They were saying, "Sir, my brothers or sisters, kids join the schools, and still they are working in the farm.
Mm,
So being in the school, it's a waste of money and waste of time. So instead of going in the school, if we just train our kids and childrens how to work in the farm, so this will give them opportunity to earn the money. The school and being educated is not giving them opportunity to earn the money." That was right, because every time, after getting graduation, completing the graduation, it doesn't mean that you are getting the jobs. So they were right at their position, and this is what they were saying, that we're not going to send our kids in the classroom. That was the indifference towards the education that I was talking about.
mm,
Second thing was that indifference towards the girls' education. So they were feeling that girls are not made for the education and other things. They are just made for taking care of their little brothers and sisters. then get married, then go back to their husband's house, and the rest of the life they have to spend there. So we're not going to invest any single money on girls' education or for their betterment of life. So this is what the internet presence means to them or means to me.
And that got you 100% attendance. That was a remarkable achievement, and 98% students achieved their expected learning outcomes as well. But do you find that now the families are, sort of more accepting of education and that they want their children to be educated?
Right. So what I was doing in the classroom, everything was shared with the parents and villagers, because my students are actually they were actually playing a role of messenger to me, and they
Hmm.
started believing in the education. This teacher is actually changing the definition of education. They started trusting me. So
Hmm.
what I promised to them, this feeling that oh, he is going to follow his promises, and this is how I managed to get the 100% attendance in the classroom.
And considering you'd already introduced them to technology, they already had that exposure. Uh, do you believe that there was any difference in learning, for instance, during the pandemic? How is it different now? Uh, did online classes work out well for children?
Actually, we were ready for such type of incidences because we have been using QR coded textbooks since 2014. And my students know how to learn, how to continue the teaching learning process, even sitting at home. Those who are not attending the classroom, they have been provided the QR coded textbooks. So they know how to learn at home at their own pace. But the only difference was that earlier it was like occasional learning on the QR coded textbook. But during the pandemic, the whole teaching process shifted on the online process.
Hmm.
This was the biggest challenge to me as well as a teacher.
Hmm.
At the time, it's very difficult to engage the classroom throughout the session. So instead of going for the traditional way of teaching through the technology, I started using the project-based learning, PBL you may call it, and took a help of technology just to use technology I used during the pandemic just as a transmission mode, just like sending my messages to my students and receiving their responses. That's what I would do.
Your students are better off also thanks to you and what you've taught them over the last couple of years. But uh, if we look at rural areas in general, where there is low attendance, where there is an indifference, and with the pandemic and online classes, lack of infrastructure, how difficult has it been from your experience, from what you're seeing? Uh, is it going to be? Is it going to take a long time for us to sort of bridge that gap?
Yes, it will. It will take some time because the teachers are not trained for the online teaching. Even if you have a look at our teachers training curriculum,
Hmm.
it should be made for the face-to-face teaching, not for the online teaching. So when the pandemic started, or we have been told that now you have to teach online, very few teachers were trained for that, and this is the system lacking behind. This is the biggest challenge in front of students or teachers as well, how to teach online. So they're just using like putting a blackboard backside, writing on the blackboard and teaching to the students. So this is not going to happen in the online teachers. How can you make sure assure the students are learning? How do you engage there? It's
Hmm.
very difficult. So we should train the teachers, we should empower them, not just for the face-to-face teaching, but for the online teaching as well.
What are your plans to sort of improve the system? Because we know that this is not just restricted to one village. Your plans extend beyond the village, and you also run the Cross Borders project. If you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm more willing to work with the government now, with the government of Maharashtra and government of India, because whatever I'm doing in the classrooms in my village, now I'm thinking that it should be scaled up across the country and across the states as well. At the policy level, if we decided to, how to go through the teachers training, well empowering teachers, making the teachers like Ranjit Singh. I want to see more and more Ranjit Singh Disale on the international platform, shining their lights on the teachers' life, students' life, and performing well. So this is what I'm going to do in future. You talked about the project of Let's Cross the Borders. So this project actually focuses on Sustainable Development Goal 16 about the peace. And I've been running this project, carrying out this project since 2018, where I included most conflicted countries in the world: India, Pakistan, Israel, Palestine, Iraq, Iran. So these countries always keep fighting with each other. And they haven't realized that war is not a solution, whatever they are doing, whatever they wanted to achieve. So instead of investing or spending too much amount of money uh, for fighting with each other, if they could have spent half of the money in the education, then the result might be different. And I firmly believe on the principle of Mahatma Gandhi, that is non-violence. Peace or the dialogue is the solution of any sort of problem. So I want my students to promote the peace in the family, in the community.
Talking about the prize money now, you've decided to share the prize money with 9 other finalists. That's really amazing. But if you can tell us why you decided to do that.
You know, one of my students always keeps saying, sharing is growing. We used to share our tiffin in the afternoon, in the lunch break.
Yes.
And that was the moment actually I was thinking teachers are expected to share whatever they have, their knowledge, mindset, they keep sharing. And teachers always work for the outcomes, they never work for the incomes. So while I was thinking to share that prize money, all the 9 finalists, they have been doing incredible work. Their work is should be recognized by the community and by the world. So while by sharing that prize money with the 9 finalists, it means I'm also supporting their great work in the classrooms. The students also deserve the quality education. They deserve the better infrastructures in the schools as well. So I thought if I could support them, all the 9 finalists will work more passionately and more better.
I want to ask you one last question to people who are watching right now, who are inspired, who are wondering how to be the change. What's your message to them?
Just follow your passion. Whatever you would like to do, just do it. Don't follow the advice of others. Oh, this is not a good field. You don't have to join the teachers training college or anything. Whatever you like, you just be and just follow your passion. And most important, behave the way you are. Don't try to pretend. Just be true to your nature. That's what I would like to share my message to the audience.
Follow your passion and be true to your nature. Thank you so much, Mr. Ranjit. Thank you so much for joining us, giving us your time, and speaking to us about your work. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much for inviting me.